Hi, it's Lindsay Carlson here. Did you know that the Criterion Collection has released over 1,000 films on home video? That's quite the feat right there. And for their 1,000th release, Criterion wanted to do something special, so who better to turn to than Godzilla? And that's what we got from Criterion for release number 1,000. This is Godzilla, the Showa era films, 1954 to 1975. I'm going to unbox this release and share my opinions. Great close-up there of everyone's favorite giant Japanese monster doing what he does best. There's the spine. Here we have a backing card which lists the films and the bonus features and has a nice description of the package. Underneath we got a nice shot of Godzilla from the back. In the front cover we have this great art of Godzilla wreaking havoc on Japan. I love the way that looks. There's an essay in here entitled Reign of Destruction. And then we got a separate page in the book for each film. Page 1 is Godzilla, the original 1954 film, or Gojira as he's known in Japan. Next up we have its immediate sequel, Godzilla Raids Again. We didn't get another Godzilla movie for nearly a decade, and that was King Kong vs. Godzilla. We then have Mothra vs. Godzilla. Mothra, of course, had become an integral character in several Godzilla films. Ghidorah, the three-headed monster, probably Godzilla's arch-enemy. Invasion of Astro Monster, Ebirah, Horror of the Deep, Son of Godzilla, Destroy All Monsters, All Monsters Attack, Godzilla vs. Hedorah, Godzilla vs. Gigan, or Gigan, I'm not totally sure how to pronounce that name, Godzilla vs. Megalon. This one, of course, infamously featured the character Jet Jaguar, who was probably created in response to the popularity of Ultraman, Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla, and the final film in the collection, Terror of Mechagodzilla. This page has info on the transfers. You got more art over here. We turn the page here and we get art similar to what was on that cover page, but here we actually have the discs themselves. There are 8 discs total, the last disc being a supplement disc, so obviously several of the films do share discs. Most of the discs have 2 films, although some have 3 films. In 1954, an enormous beast clawed its way out of the sea, destroying everything in its path and changing movies forever. The arresting original Godzilla soon gave rise to an entire monster movie genre, but the king of the monsters continued to reign supreme in 14 fiercely entertaining sequels over the next 2 decades. Godzilla defended its throne against a host of other formidable creatures, transforming from a terrifying symbol of nuclear annihilation into a benevolent, if still belligerent, Earth protector. Collected here for the first time are all 15 Godzilla films of Japan's Showa era, in a landmark set showcasing the technical wizardry, fantastical storytelling, and indomitable international appeal that has established the most iconic giant monster the cinema has ever seen. It's pretty obvious at this point I love Godzilla. I've reviewed countless Godzilla movies on this channel, as well as other kaiju movies. I'll include a link to some of those up above if you want to check those out when you're done watching this video. But the original Godzilla came out in 1954, and it was largely seen as an allegory for the dangers of nuclear weapons and radiation, and it told its point exceedingly well. The original film is actually quite dark, and I mean, there's even a sequence where a character references having lost a relative in the Hiroshima bombing, and how this hits very close to home based on what happened prior to that. And as the series went on, of course, Godzilla would appear in films that tended to be a little campier and certainly more lighthearted, although some of them get quite dark and violent. The series is a bit inconsistent in that regard, and you never quite know what you're going to get. Of course, the later films introduce monsters like Mothra, Ghidorah, Hedorah, Megalon, and of course, Mechagodzilla. There's plenty of thrills to go around here. The movies have their share of humor, but they have their share of action and violent moments as well. Again, not every film that's in this set is an absolute masterpiece, but I certainly had a lot of fun going back and revisiting these. Fans of Godzilla will definitely want to go back and see where the giant monster's career began. Now, 2 things I do want to clear up. First of all, the disc that has the first movie on it also includes the American edit of the movie, Godzilla King of the Monsters, which added in new footage of Raymond Burr and several body doubles and the like to try to blend everything together seamlessly. It runs maybe about 15 minutes or so shorter than the original Japanese film. And I also want to add as well that this does not include the standalone Mothra film that came prior to the ones where Mothra appears in this series. Again, probably because A, it has nothing to do with Godzilla other than the character's later interactions, and of course legal issues might be to blame there as well. There's also two different cuts of the movie King Kong vs. Godzilla, and we get one cut on the respective movie disc, and the other cut is featured on the supplement disc. So how's the picture quality in this set? The first film looks absolutely gorgeous, and it's since even gotten a newer remaster for a later 4K release. The other films are in varying conditions because they were clearly sourced from dated masters. Most of them do look pretty good, but you can't help but wonder if these are due for, again, some new remastering and maybe eventual 4K releases. I do think the movies here could look better than they do, but overall I don't think they look bad either. There is a supplements disc included in this package, which, like I said earlier, includes an alternate cut of King Kong vs. Godzilla, plus a lot of the cast and crew and archival and somewhat newly recorded stuff as well. So that disc has a lot of content you'll be interested in if you are a fan of the series. All of the movies are presented in their original Japanese audio with English subtitles, although some tracks do have vintage English dubs included as an extra feature, and those are certainly campy and fun to watch the movie with. I had a lot of fun with them. Again, I'm a huge Godzilla fan, and Criterion certainly did right by everyone's favorite kaiju with this collection here. You might want to wait for it to go on sale during one of those Barnes & Noble sales, but if you can get your hands on this Godzilla Showa era collection, you certainly get what you pay for. It's a beautiful set with 15 Godzilla movies and then alternate versions of 2 of them. I can give this a very high recommendation. The only real issue I have, of course, is that some of the films don't necessarily look the best and would benefit from new masters. How about you? Are you a fan of Godzilla? What's your favorite film in the franchise? Have you picked up this Showa era box set yet? Comment down below and let us know what you think. Also, remember to subscribe to this channel for more content. I'm always posting new videos, and make sure you give this one a like if you found it helpful. I'm Timothy Carlson. I'll see you next time.